Welcome to Ambush on Gallant 4, 2000 points battle report of Drukhari vs DeathWatch. Will Eldari heads roll, or have the Xenos hunters become the hunted themselves? Hopefully a bit of both. But before we start, let's see the lists. Kicking off with Drukhari, we have triple patrols. Our first patrol is Cult of Strife, giving units in this detachment fight first, and a +1 to charge if the unit they are charging are not already engaged in combat. In the HQ slot, we have the Warlord, a succubus. She is a show stealer, which means that she can consolidate 6 inches in any direction after combat. Her Warlord trait is Competitive Edge. Any attacks that fail to cause damage generate another attack, which then combos nicely with her Artifact of Cruelty, which is the Triptych Whip. With Adrenalite combat drugs coursing through her veins, the result is 10 attacks on the charge, hitting on 2s, wounding anything that is not a vehicle on 2s, AP -3, 2 damage, and then of course she has the audacity to run away so you don't get to fight back. Cruel indeed. Of course, she wouldn't be much to talk about without her entourage. In the troops, we have 10 Hecatrix Blood Brides with all the bells and whistles. The Hecatrix has a blast pistol and a power sword, and divided among the rest of the Blood Brides, we also have a Shardnet Impaler, Razor Flails, and Hydra Gauntlets for all of the fun, all of the time. With them, we have 5 Witches, stock standard other than the Hecatrix, which has a blast pistol and a power sword again. Both of these units are using Grave Lotus for their combat drug, giving them +1 strength. We move on to the fast attack slot where we have 2 units of 3 Reavers. The Arena Champion has a Heat Lance in each squad, and they are both using Splinter Mind to give them +1 to their leadership and +1 to their ballistic skill, so those Heat Lances are hitting on 2s. Our second patrol is Cabal of the Poison Tongue, which means that poison weapons in this detachment wound on 3s instead of 4s, and then there is a -1 to combat attrition, which will not come into effect in this matchup. The real reason to take this detachment is for Insidious Misdirection, a 2 CP stratagem that allows me to redeploy 3 units before the start of the battle, or put them in reserve at no additional cost. In the HQ slot, we have an Archon. I've used the Tolerated Ambition stratagem to give him a Warlord trait and paid to give him Splintered Genius. This gives him a once per game fight twice. His Warlord trait is Ancient Evil, which lets me choose a unit in engagement range to fight last. I have given him a Venom Blade and a Blast Pistol. He is there to give me a bit of combat utility, and then also give me access to Trueborn Cabalites. Speaking of which, there is a unit of 10 of them in the troop slot, 2 blasters and a Dark Lance. Trueborn are ballistic skill 2, and they are immune to modifiers, which makes them very good at consistently putting high quality fire downrange if left to their own devices. With them, we have a squad of 5 Cabalite warriors with a blaster. Moving quickly to the fast attacks, we have a squad of 5 Scourges. The Solarite is stock standard, but the remaining 4 all have Dark Lances. Conventional wisdom would say that I should take a Ravager instead, but I honestly believe that the Scourges do the same job, if not better. A discussion for another time perhaps. In the elites, we have 2 squads of 5 Incubi. Deadly, lethal combat threats. Finally, we round out this patrol with the dedicated transports. There are 2 notorious Dark Lance Raiders and 4 Venoms. One of them has 2 Splinter Cannons. There are a few extras here and there, but I will explain them later in the list. For our final patrol, we have a Custom Coven. They are Artists of the Flesh, giving all non-vehicle units in this patrol -1 damage to a minimum of 1. Leading this patrol, we have an Alchemical Maestro Haemonculus. Once per game, if he is slain, he will get back up with D3 wounds remaining on a 2+. I've also used the Artifacts of Cruelty stratagem to give him the Poisonous Ampule Relic, which gives me the ability to choose an enemy unit once per game within 9 inches and turn off any auras that they give and any auras that currently affect them, alongside some potential mortal wounds. You'll have to forgive me for using Urien Rakarth as a substitute. I just cannot find a Haemonculus model in Australia at the moment. Attending their leader, we have 5 Haemonculus. The Haemonculus upgrade lets them ignore the first wound suffered in each phase and gives them a +1 to their invuln, so they are starting the game rocking that 5-up invuln. The Acathist has an electro-corrosive whip and a hex rifle, and I've paid for an ossifactor as well. Probably a mistake, but let's find out together. Rounding out this patrol, in the heavy support slot we have 3 Talos divided into 1 squad of 2 and 1 of 1. They all have the same loadout, an Ichor Injector for some mortal wounds, a Macro Scalpel for some choppy chop, and 2 Heat Lancers to give out some serious sunburns to some armored units. That's the list. The Bloodrise and the Succubus ride in the Raider with the Shock Prow and Grizzly trophies, the Trueborn and the Archon ride in the other Raider with Splinter Racks. 2 Venoms with Grizzly trophies hold the 2 squads of Incubi, and the Haemonculus, 1 Venom with Grizzly trophies holds the squad of Witches, and the last Venom with double Splinter Cannons holds the 5-man squad of Cabalite Warriors. It's 2,000 points and 10 CP. Let's see what the DeathWatch bring, coming up next.
Next up, we have the DeathWatch list. I have taken a battalion of 1,997 points. The Warlord is the captain on bike, who has been given a Storm Shield and an Astartes Chainsword just to save on points. His relic is the Dominus Aegis, which turns his Storm Shield into a 6-inch 5-up invuln bubble. His Warlord trait is the Paragon of their chapter, which allows me to choose the Ultramarines Adept of the Codex. This gives me CP back on a 5-up roll every CP I spend, but only once per battle round. Next up, we have the Primaris Chaplain on bike. He has been given the litanies Catechism of Fire and Recitation of Focus. Recitation of Focus allows us to get +1s to hit, and Catechism of Fire allows us to get +1s to wound. These are both only on a single unit. He has been upgraded to a Master of Sanctity, and has been given the Warlord trait Wise Orator. His relic is the Beacon Angelus, and with 14-inch movement and 20-inch auto advance, he's a prime candidate for teleporting one of my stronger units up the field. In the last HQ slot, we have the Primaris Librarian. He has been given Premorphic Resonance, which is a spell that allows a unit to overwatch on 5s, fight first, and get an extra attack in combat. He's also been given Fortified with Contempt, which gives a 5-up Feel No Pain to a single unit. Combined with the Dominus Aegis, this can be very strong. Other than that, he has a Force Sword, and he's been given the Tome of Ectoclade's Relic. This allows a single unit to re-roll all wound rolls on a specific datasheet of the enemy's army for 1 turn. And now we move on to the troops. First up, we have the Fortis Kill Team with 5 Intercessors with Auto Bolt Rifles and 5 Outriders. They have been upgraded with the Aquila Tactics, which gives them reroll 1s to wound on just about everything. We have another Fortis Kill Team with 5 Auto Bolt Rifle Intercessors and 4 Hellblasters with Assault Plasma Incinerators. Finally, we have the Indomitor Kill Team. They have 5 Heavy Intercessors with Hellstorm Bolt Rifles, 3 Aggressors with Flamestorm Gauntlets, and 2 Inceptors with Assault Bolters. This Indomitor Kill Team has been upgraded with the Dominus Tactics. This gives me reroll 1s to wound against elites, and if I have chosen elites for my Xenos Hunters chapter tactic, then I get to reroll all wounds against elites with this unit. And now for the elites. First up, we have the Apothecary, who has been upgraded to a Chief Apothecary for 35 points. For 1 CP, he has been given the Selfless Healer Warlord trait. This allows him to heal units for 3 instead of D3, and also use the Resurrect stratagem for 0 CP. Up next, we have the Sneaky Mech, the Invicta Tactical Warsuit. He has been given twin Arnhail autocannons instead of the Flamers. We also have a Redemptor Dreadnought with all the bells and whistles, 2 Stormbolters, Icarus rocket pods, a Macroplasma Incinerator, Onslaught Gatling Cannon, and of course the Redemptor Fists. And last in the elite slot, and most certainly the least, we have 4 Servitors with Servo Arms. Moving on to the heavy support, we have an Eliminator Squad. The Sergeant has been given an Instigator Bolt Carbine. This allows the squad to shoot and then move again at the end of the shooting phase. The other 2 Eliminators have been given Bolt Sniper Rifles. Finally, we have our Eradicator squad of 3 Eradicators with Melter Rifles. And that's it, that is the DeathWatch list. Let's see how it fares. Okay, we have our Indomitor Kill team here and Servitors. Over here we have a big blob, all our HQs are in the middle, Apothecary, Captain on Bike, Chaplain on Bike, Librarian, Redemptor, Fortis Kill team with 5 Intercessors and 4 Hellblasters. This is the Combat Squadded Outrider group. Here's the other side of the Combat Squad with 5 Intercessors. We have our Eliminators here, our Victor Warsuit, and our Eradicators are in the Teleportarium.
Okay, and over on this side for Drukhari, we have Trueborn in this raider. We have some witches, Cult of Strife witches in this one, some Reavers, 2 Talos. We have a squad of Scourges, all with Dark Lances. We have a Venom with 5 Incubi, another Talos. These are Artists of Flesh. We then have a Venom with Cabalite Warriors, Poison Tongue. Another Venom with, what did I put you in? No, these are Witches. Those ones are Incubi. And then we have another 3 Bikes and some Haemonculus. DeathWatch won the first turn, but I have used a stratagem called Insidious Misdirection for 2 CP. I can redeploy 3 units or put them into reserves at no extra cost. It's DeathWatch turn 1.
Let's do it.
Okay, in the command phase, the Chaplain put Catechism of Fire and Recitation of Focus to give +1 to hit and wound on the Redemptor. And then we did the movement phase. Our Outriders have moved up. Our Invicta Warsuit has moved up to take that point. Our Redemptor's moved out to try and get some shots over there. The Chaplain has moved out and has used Beacon and Jealous to bring the Indomitor Kill team in the middle so I can try and get Oath of Moment. The Captain's moved out to give his bubble with Dominus Aegis, and we've advanced the Fortis Kill team with the Hellblasters, and our Librarians moved up there. The Servitors have stayed put and raised a banner. The Eliminators have stayed put and raised a banner. The Intercessors, that were half the kill team, have moved in just into that ruin, and that's about it. In the Psychic phase, we put Fortified with Contempt on the Indomitor Kill team, so they have a 5-up Feel No Pain, and Premorphic Resonance on the Outriders to give them a little bit of Overwatch and a little bit of fighting. Okay, so the Redemptor shot the Macroplasma into the Raider over there. That was the only thing in range. Got 4 shots, 2 of them hit and wound, but they were both saved on the Invuln. That was all supercharged as well. The Hellblasters also shot, and the Bolters shot everything into the Raider as well. The Hellblasters got no wounds. There's 2 wounds, and the Bolters got 2 wounds as well. The front 2 bikes shot through the building at the Raider, got 2 wounds on that, putting it down to 3. And then the others shot at the Venom over there, as well as the Chaplain. The Indomitor Kill team also shot everything that was in range into the Raider, and the Invicta Warsuit also shot most of its shots into the Raider, and some of its shots into that Raider over there. Took 2 wounds off that one, and the Raider's on 1 wound, but we managed to take down the Venom and the succubi popped out there. And that's it.
Lots of shooting. Let's get into the next round.
Alright, Drukhari, turn 1. Command phase, there wasn't anything to do, all the HQs were in transports, so we went straight to movement phase. This raider on 1 wound moved 6 inches, he's going to try his best. The Scourges moved out, and they're hoping to take some shots into that Redemptor. The Archon is loyally sitting on the back objective, the Talos has moved up, the Reavers have moved up, and this Venom with Incubi have moved up. The Incubi that got popped out of this raider have also moved up, hopefully going to get a charge onto those Bikers. This Talos is just going to try his best. These Cabalites got out of the Venom that is now over here, and they have advanced up and they have taken that point. These Haemonculus are retrieving Octarius data over here. More Reavers, Venom full of witches, empty Venom. Hopefully I've screened out the board enough, and let's see what we can do in our shooting phase. Alright, end of Drukhari phase, shooting phase turn 1. This raider took a pot shot at the Redemptor, failing to hit because it needed a 6. It's ballistic skill 5, shooting over the barricade. However, the trusty Trueborn inside took some shots into these Outriders, and this Indomitor kill team didn't really do much. We took one of them down to 1 wound, but they did do a lot of damage down onto the Redemptor. The Scourges fired everything into the Redemptor and then fire faded back. This Talos took a pot shot, killed one of these guys with the Heat Lance. Another Heat Lance over here took another one, and most of the poison just bounced off of the rest of those Hellblasters that fought as kill team. These guys, they tried their best, but they're already doing as much as they can. They are probably not long for this world. Again, this raider with the witches and the succubi, and the Reavers over here fired into the Redemptor. So just a lot of focus fire really on the one Redemptor, and it finally keeled over. These Venoms, they just put down some inconsequential poison fire, but fortunately for these Eliminators, having 2-up saves from the cover is pretty handy.
Very strong.
Yeah, and that is the end of my shooting phase. Time for charges.
Let's do it.
We didn't do what we hoped to do. We charged in the Incubi and this Talos. Unfortunately, these guys have a fight first, but I did take it away with Tormentors. I didn't even manage to kill a bike with the Incubi. They really failed me there, so maybe next time. The Talos didn't really do much either, but hey, at least they're fighting there. The Venom tagged them as well. It's just there to be annoying in the way. The Reavers, on the other hand, they never fail me. They took the Servitors and sliced them to bits with their blade veins, and they've taken down this banner over here. And that is the end of my turn. So I get 3 for engage on all fronts. I have denied a banner, and I get 1 victory point for take them alive for killing these servitors in combat.
Okay, so end of the first battle round, I got 4 victory points for Oath of Moment. And then at the start of the second round, I've got 10 for the primary. I'm on this point, I'm on this point. Unfortunately, lost these other 2. And I've got 1 for Raise the Banners. So we moved up into the command phase. The chaplain got one of his litanies off to give a +1 to wound on the Indomitor kill team. The other, recitation of focus failed. And that's about it for the command phase. In the movement phase, we've done a lot of shuffling. The bikes have fallen back, so they're just exposing these two units here. The apothecary brought one back and healed the other one back up to full. The captain and the chaplain have moved off into the middle. They want to fight. Our Fortis kill team with the Hellblasters and the Librarian have shifted over here to take out these bikes and take this point back. The Librarian got a smite off onto them, and Fortified with Contempt failed to go on the bikers. We have the Invictor Warsuit has moved up here, just so that he's in a position that he can do something. Hopefully I take all these guys out and shooting and he can charge something else. Over here we've moved these intercessors out here to do some shooting, and we've moved the eliminators over here. They're going to do a shoot and then they will be able to move because of this sergeant with his carbine. So that is about it for the movement phase. I have also brought in my eradicators from the teleportarian. Unfortunately, not really anywhere great to deep strike. Maybe I should have left it for next turn. Okay, so we have the shooting phase for the DeathWatch. The Invictor Warsuit shot at this venom over here that had witches inside. I used Progenistic Volley to hit on 3s instead of 4s, and that destroyed it. Following that, the witches jumped out, and these intercessors killed 4 of those witches. The eliminators over here, they moved out and they shot. They attempted to shoot the HQ. What is it?
The succubus.
The succubus here, and clinked off 2 wounds with that, and then moved back with the instigator carbine. It was actually the instigator carbine that did the wounds, surprisingly. The eradicators destroyed the raider, and the witches jumped out there. Over to here, we had a lot of split fire with the Indomitor kill team. The Inceptors finished off the Cavalite warriors, which were clinked down with some light fire from the Invictor as well before that. The Flamers shot into the Talos and took off one wound. And
2 wounds.
2 wounds. The heavy intercessors shot at the bird people.
Scourges.
The
Scourges with Dark Lancers.
Scourges with Dark Lancers, and killed all 5 of those. The chaplain and captain did some shooting, but not much came of it. And these guys here, they shot the heavy bolters. This Fortis kill team with the Hellblasters. The Hellblasters shot at this Talos, took off 2 wounds, and the intercessors shot at the raider and finishing off that last wound on it. And that's about it. Okay, charging and fighting phase for the DeathWatch. These intercessors charged the venom and took 1 wound off. The Invictor charged these witches, only killed 2 and paid a heavy price for that. Lost quite a few wounds there, 8 in total. The bikes here charged the venom and surrounded it. Killed the venom, and these incubi used desperate breakouts and only lost 1. Lucky them. And these guys here, the intercessors with Hellblasters and the Librarian, charged these 2 bikes, killed them, took back the point. The captain and the chaplain charged the Talos and managed to do 1 damage in total to it. And that is about it for the charging phase for the DeathWatch.
Turn 2 for Drukhari. We have moved our Trueborn into here, and they are retrieving Arterius data. We are steadily holding the point with these Haemonculus. The Talos has stayed in battle. The Succubus is moving up and is hopefully going to help with the efforts. The Witches have stayed in combat. There's only 3 left. and I've moved all of my Reavers and Venoms up to take this point and take down this banner. These Talos have also moved up, and they are hoping to take a chunk out of the Outriders. At the end of the movement phase, my Haemonculus used Poisonous Ampule on the Outrider bike, so they no longer benefit from any auras, and they took 2 mortal wounds. Our Talos over here shot into combat at the captain, but failed to do anything. These 2 Talos over here shot into the Outriders, taking out 2 of them. The Haemonculus took a pot shot, but didn't do anything really important. The Haemonculus took some shots, didn't do anything. These Reavers over here killed one of the Eliminators. Because this Venom fell back, he can't shoot. The Witches have stayed in combat. Succubus doesn't have any guns, Incubi don't have any guns. So we are on to the charge phase. Okay, overall a pretty successful fight phase. We charged in the Archon here, made the Chaplain fight last. We charged the Haemonculus and the Succubus into the Apothecary, killed him no problem. Because the Outriders didn't have any invulns or anything like that, the Talos made short work of them as well. The Witches are holding for now, and they've taken the Invicta down to 1 wound. These bikes here they tried, but they're not that great. Eliminators are actually pretty sneaky good. I like them. And that's it. The Incubi, maybe I should have charged them somewhere else, but hey, you live and you learn. And that's Drukhari. End of turn 2. We get 3 for engage. We get 4 points for take them alive because we killed 2 characters. We killed a character and a unit in melee. And that's it.
Cool, on to DeathWatch.
Right, Deathwatch, turn 3, nothing to do in the command phase. Went to movement. Chaplain retreated out of there, just running away so that these can be shot. These guys shuffled along just a little bit to get line of sight. That's the Fortis kill team and the Librarian. These intercessors move back, hoping to take this point back. These eradicators here also hoping to try and help with the point, maybe a bit overkill, but we'll see. Tried to retreat for fall back with the Invicta, but got stuck by the tiny net from the Witches. These guys have decided to abandon their oath of moment and just secure this point, and yeah, that's about it. Intercessors shot at the bikes, didn't manage to kill them. The eradicators managed to destroy the venom. These guys, the bolters, these intercessors shot into the succubi, killed 3. The Hellblasters overcharged to try and get rid of these guys and killed 2 of them and only took off 2 wounds. The Librarian just smite, did 1 damage to these guys, killed 1 of them. These guys shot their flamers into this Talos and only took 1 wound from it. Everything else shot at the other Talos and did nothing at all. The Invicta Warsuit shot into them and did nothing at all. Fight phase for the Deathwatch. The Intercessors charged the bikes and so did the Eradicators, and they killed them. Dominant Kill Team charged the 3 Witches and killed them in combat with the Power Fists. And that is all that happened in the fight phase for the Deathwatch.
Let's go Drukari.
Okay, beginning of turn 3 for Drukhari, so now we have +1 to hit in combat, as well as advance and charge, and a 6-up invuln. We've moved the Trueborn out to take a shot and kill that Invicta. Hopefully we're going to, the Haemonculus have stayed there. These guys, I can't do anything about them. So I'm going to do what I can. I've moved the Archon behind here, but he's still within 3 of that point, so DeathWatch will have to come to him if they want to take it back. The Talos have moved to engage over here, and the Haemonculus, so brave, he's leading from the front and probably going to die. The Incubi are retrieving Octarius data, and the Succubus has come to get her dues. She has the Triptych Whip and Competitive Edge. So let's see how that goes. So the Trueborn managed to chip off a wound on the Chaplain. They've shot the Dark Lance into the Invicta, failed to wound, unfortunately. The Haemonculus, they constantly do nothing in shooting, but they're doing a good job just standing there. These two Talos managed to use their Heat Lances into the Indomitor kill team and take 2 of them down. This one is always a disappointment, and there will be punishment for him back in Comora. Okay, the Competitive Edge Succubus came in here, killed the Hellblasters in this Force kill team over here. These Talos over here failed the charge, very disappointing. This Talos and the Haemonculus braved the Overwatch, survived, and then they worked together to whittle down that Indomitor kill team. And that is really all the fighting there is. So, end of Drukhari, turn 3, I get 2 for engage on all fronts, and I did kill this unit over here, so I get another one for take them alive.
Okay, Deathwatch, turn 4. The Eradicators shot into the Talos, finally managed to kill one of them. The Eliminators shot and did nothing. The Intercessors shot, the Talos did nothing. Hero Librarian over there charged what's called? Succubus, and managed to do only 1 mortal wound on the with the smite, but managed to kill her with 1 attack with the Force Sword. The Chaplain came over here, shot at these Succubi, got nothing out of that. The aggressors fought back against the Talos, but only took 1 wound off, and they lost another 3 in combat. The Invicta Lawsuit came up here, shot everything into those, what are they called?
Racks. Haemonculus,
and did nothing. That's it.
Alright, it ended with a Drukhari victory. Unfortunately for Deathwatch, just being knocked off of the middle points and losing the Librarian on the home point was just too much. Going into turn 5, Deathwatch would be 5 for victory points, and then they would really struggle to get the points off of the Drukhari, so Deathwatch had conceded. A Dark Lance fired and killed the Librarian. The Incubi charged in, they didn't really do much though to the Chaplain. The Haemonculus and the Talos ended up killing the Indomitor kill team. And the Haemonculus finally did something. They managed to roll a wounded roll of a 6 on the Invicta, finally killing it. And that's it.